Manipulation is so common in our society that most of us think it's normal. Of course, providing intentions are good. Everyone wants to bring winning behaviours to their relationships. This helps people become well disposed towards us, which is the law of social survival and the basis of relationship success. But it's important to understand the distinction between behaviours that build connection and positive outcomes and manipulation, which harms both us and our relationships. Manipulation destroys trust and ends up driving others away rather than bringing them closer to us. The Cambridge Dictionary defines manipulation as controlling someone or something to your own advantage, often unfairly or dishonestly. Here's an example in business: using your skill or expertise to get someone else to agree to terms that are unfavourable to them, then locking them in so that when they realise what a bad deal they've agreed to, it's hard for them to extract themselves without expense or pain. If this sounds familiar, it may be because someone's done this to you. Manipulation is very common when large sums of money are involved, which is why I never advise novices to go it alone in property, and why boardroom battles can get so bitter in business. In personal relationships, manipulation can take some of the following forms: trying to control someone else's movements, money, relationships with others, time, and even thoughts. There's probably not a single person who has not experienced this, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll probably admit to having engaged in this type of behaviour yourself. The weaker you feel, the stronger this tendency becomes. So, for example, someone might try to stop their significant other from having lunch with a business associate of the opposite sex by acting sulky and jealous, or criticise their partner's appearance if they're going to a social or networking event, to undermine their confidence, or restrict access to shared finances to prevent them from spending their money in the way they want. When I worked in media, my wealthy boss's wife didn't allow him access to their finances and left his pocket money on a jar on the mantelpiece. She did this because he was furious about him going out drinking all night with his creative team instead of coming home to her. He got back at her by having happy ending massages on his frequent trips to the Far East that he joked about embarrassingly when they were out together socially. Such unhappy scenarios play out endlessly all over the country. It's sad, and it doesn't have to be this way. Manipulation always backfires because in truth you can't own someone else or make them into a safer version of themselves for you. We manipulate and become manipulable for the same reason, because of fear and the desire to control others. They're two sides of the same coin, and it's quite common for us to switch roles. It's like a dance with both partners treading painfully on one another's toes. When we get into this unhealthy way of relating, the pattern can become entrenched. Instead of manipulating, take a step back and ask yourself how you can get your needs met without resorting to such destructive behaviours. 3 common ways people try to manipulate others are through anger, blame, and guilt tripping. And 3 ways people become manipulable are through self-doubt, a desire for approval, and social isolation. The easy way to tell whether you're involved in a manipulative exchange is by tuning into your feelings. If you're comfortable and feel you can speak up, you're probably not being manipulated. You won't feel you're being coerced into something you genuinely don't want. On the other hand, if you are being manipulated, you'll probably feel upset, hurt, or taken advantage of. If your instinct tells you this is happening, you should always honour your feelings. Confront the person that's trying to manipulate you if you can. If they're not in the right frame of mind to listen, you'll need to disengage from them until you've found a way to get yourself heard. Don't bother confronting someone who's angry, as anger is an intense emotion that makes people unable to engage with what others are saying. If you're manipulating someone else, this is usually because your fear-driven ego has got out of control. Trying to make yourself feel better by getting something from another person that they don't want to give won't resolve this. It's like putting a sticking plaster on a fracture. You'll need to admit to yourself the true cause of your pain and then address it so you don't resort to this unhelpful behaviour. Sometimes this might lead to an upheaval in your business or personal relationships, But that's okay. You really don't have a choice if you want to have a truly empowered and happy life. If you feel you've been manipulated, remember you share this experience with most of humanity. The reason it's common for people to be manipulated is because many of us experience conditional love as children, which set us up for the unhelpful habit of people-pleasing. To reverse this tendency, you'll need to become stronger and more confident in yourself. Although it's hard, we all need to learn how to stand up for ourselves in a way that's respectful of others, but moves us consistently towards the great life we desire. My name is Jane Baylor, and I'd like to welcome you to my Business of Relationships series for entrepreneurs and everyone else who wants to be the very best versions of themselves. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave a comment, which I promise I'll read. If you've got ideas for other topics you'd like me to address in my series, please feel free to suggest them, as I want to create incredible value for you. Thank you for watching. I'm so excited to have you on board.